Hello everybody, welcome to this C++ game engine video. In this video, I'm going back to development because that's a long time I've not coded on this engine. The reason was I was publishing a book for beginners, for C++ beginners. So it's a book in French, so maybe most of you won't be interested, but if you are, I will put the link in description. Now, I've taken time to think about my game and my engine, so I will continue working on it. And I think I will be a little more ambitious with first what I want to do in terms of programming, and second, what I want to do in terms of game. The game will still be a simple game in 2D, but we'll try to implement some interesting concepts around time. But we'll see that later. The first thing I want to do now is a little, well, let's get back a little to our code and let's get back to some thinking. In our scene game, we have a scene and we have an ECS manager, a pointer to an ECS manager, and this pointer manages everything for now that is in the scene except maybe the background. So in a sense, if we go into the ECS manager, we can say that everything that is in our world is stored in those vectors. So this represents the state of the world. And what I would like to do, and also, when I want to modify this transform, I have my systems function where the system physics, for instance. So when I have something that create a modification in our code, what I do is getting the data, find a new, well, applying stuff on it, then do the operation to get some new data, and here create collisions, and then resolve all collisions. Okay, and we are doing that in each system function. That's good, but it could create some problem. First, I'm really bound to to the order of call of this function. Well, this is not that bad, but still it's strange. It's not very deterministic. Update component. I'm looking for where this is updated actually. It should be here, update scene game, yeah. So we have system update physics, system screen bound update, system component with transform. So maybe we could have some problems or order of call, difficult order of call here. Second, it's a little strange that my ECS manager holds all the world stuff. And also, we could imagine that we have a stack of scenes and that each scene can update the world. Okay, maybe the game is not in pause and like in Dark Souls, for instance, if you open the menu, moving stuff in the menu will change something in the game, but the game is still not in pause, so you can modify the world also in the scene. So I should not keep the state of the world in my ECS manager. I should hold it somewhere else, maybe in the game class, so that every scene can do something with it. With the world, I mean. I'm not sure you understand everything I am saying, so I draw something. So here what I have is, I have my game. You can see that I have changed my way of drawing things. Above it, I could have scenes. Well, let's call it scene 1, scene 2, and let's pretend they are stacking. And for now, what I have is I have my ECS manager here. And, well, I have created a unique pointer here. So this ECS manager is not even shared with another scene if I want to modify the word. It's created here. So each scene should have its own component, which may be not a problem, but then we cannot communicate through components. So what I would prefer to do would be, I would keep, so I will delete this link, or maybe I would share the ECS manager, but I would rather inject it in other scenes. I'm thinking at the time I'm telling you this, okay? So maybe it's not the best idea, but usually injecting stuff is a good idea. And in the ECS manager, I have several stuff. I have my state, world state, let's say. I have my system functions. I also have some entity creation constants, function, sorry. Actually, entity and component. Well, let's do it nice. And maybe have everything here is not a good idea. So first thing I want to do is, well, inject the ECS manager when I create a scene. So this would be a shared pointer, I suppose. And also, so I suppose the first shared pointer will be stored in the game and then injected each time I want to create a scene. And also I would like the world state to be moved from the ECS manager to there, even if those entity function will modify it. And again, also my system function will modify the world state. So the scenes will call the ECS manager, and the ECS manager will inject stuff in the world state. But here, what I want to do is not a modification. So until now, what I had, as I've shown you here, so until now, what I had here is, what was my creation function? Yeah. When I update entities, I do stuff and directly update the world state, directly update the contents of the vector that are in my ECS manager. Well, I directly update what is, what is it? Here, what is here. So now what I would want to do is have a world state here, and the system do not automatically modify the world state. It will send modifications. Well, basically, it will send structs that will represent a modification of the world state for the next frame. Okay. So instead of, I don't know if instead of changing the position of an object, I will send an object that will represent position change for this entity and new values, for instance. When we create components, etc., it will quasi be the same. It will just create for the next frame, or maybe at the end of the current frame. So why is that so important to send modification? Because my world state will be stable, it will be always the same and cannot be modified during the frame. It will only be modified next frame. Okay. Well, it's not the best arrow I've drawn, so here. Okay. modify world. Actually, it will be applying modification at the beginning of next frame. And then when my system function needs to access something, well, in a way or in another, I think, yeah, we need a link in the ECS manager to the game, because the ECS manager has to send our modifications. Okay, so I hope that's clear, and this is what I want to implement now. This will have an advantage, a very good advantage, because this will allow me to store my world state, each frame world state, maybe not each frame, but maybe every 5 frame I will store a world state. So I will have additional world state here. Okay. And actually, this could be very handy now, then, to create, for instance, time rewind stuff, or even for debug. I can go back and see what happened the frame before, etc. So I try to implement something like that. I hope my diagram was clear, and let's go back to code. So, by the way, I was telling you, as you can see, I've switched to Linux. This is Pop OS. And I did that because I actually prefer to work on Linux, even if I'm a game programmer. The reason is I have no game on Linux, so my mind do not want to play something or to have a window notification or anything. So I think it's better for me, and it has always been a pleasure when I was not, before I was a game programmer, it has always been a pleasure to work on Linux, so I wanted to switch back to Linux. Oh, and by the way, in order to switch back to Linux, I had to update my CMake list here. So first, because I built my own library, my own gamey engine as a shared library, I also needed, under Linux at least, to build a raylib, which is my temporary backend. Maybe I'll change later. I needed to build raylib as a shared library too, so this is the reason of this. Also, I need to set, set OpenGL preferences to use, well, the classic driver, the classic Linux driver. What I have changed? What have I changed? Maybe that's all. Yeah, maybe that's all here. Do I have my commit history? Oh, and I also changed to the last version of CLion, so for now I do not know every shortcut in this new version. I really like it. It's really beautiful, but I don't know my way around. Okay. Linux compatibility, what I've changed. Okay, yeah, I've added some defines in the for GAPI in the define code. So I needed to translate GAPI to attribute visibility default for Linux. Oh, this is GCC. Yeah, but I'm not using GCC actually, I'm using Clang. I hope this would work still. And what I've changed to in platform utils, oh yeah, small bug, I had to import IOStream in the CMake list. Oh yeah, and set a new policy here. And oh yeah, this was not working under Linux, so I will have to see what it does with Windows. And yes, of course, my DLL copy is not necessary under Linux, so I had to update it too. Well, let's check if this is actually working. It is in defines. Okay, yeah, new C is working. I'm using Clang to compile. I'm not sure actually. Am I? To chain. Oh no, I'm using GCC, so maybe it won't work with Clang. I will have to update this too. Okay, but it's still working, so it's fine. Okay, so let's back to code and let's implement our big plan. So maybe I should create a world class that will be held here with do I need a getter? I'm not sure. I just need to inject my world. I need to inject my world pointer into. Oh, I'm in the. Sorry, I'm not at the right place. Actually, it should be in game. So here I have a vector of scene with my scene stack. So here I need my world. I'm thinking about separated concerns. So do I need something to the game? I need something to the game, maybe to set some stuff. But do I need a link to the world in the ECS manager? Yeah, I suppose I would because I need to get some data. So I will put a link to the world into the ECS manager. And we'll see later for scenes. Well, let's try this. So let's create a world class. For now, I'll put everything in sunset, but on the long term, this world question may actually also change my rendering strategy. So, well, we'll see. Okay, let's create world. So it's world state actually, but world is class here. Okay, add this to Git. Sunset Reveries is way our format, yes. And in this, we'll put what is in the ECS manager. That is this. Entity to remove. Maybe entity to remove should be there too. We'll see that later. So for now, I just copy it and check how I can do stuff. Private. Okay, this should be. Why is it not in the project target? Oh yeah, because I just need to recompile. To rebuild, would it be enough? I need to clean and rebuild. I need to reset my, my shortcuts to build, clean, and rebuild. Okay. I'm not sure. Not sure it was added. Or maybe I just need to reload this. Yes. Okay. So now let's include it. Oh, and I also have to include vector. it's not that. Sorry, long time. Using std vector, it is. Oh, it's, yeah, sorry. It's not a preprocessor directive. Okay, fine. Okay. Now I want my world to have a list of modifications. So I could create my world modification. For now, I will create them here, and later I will send this in another place. So I think I need a modification for every. I'm thinking. Yeah, actually, I should create a world modification header. It would be better. So let's call it world change. Yeah, let's change the world. Struct. So if I go into my ECS manager, I'll take the first one. So update entity with components. It's fine. Update entity with transform. Yeah, so this is changing the destination. Yeah, so this is the first thing I want to do. It's created to update, well, the position. Oh, it will actually update all sprites position, taking the position from the transform. So should I do this? Should I do this? I'm not sure. It's kind of graphics function, but it's not that bad. This could actually be directly in my world function. So for now, I won't bother about that. Let's rather use the systems. So what I do in this function is I check for collisions. So this should stay here. It's a system. So both, okay. And if there is something, I place a collision. And this is what happens when there is a collision. This should be in the world and executing. This should be a modification and executed after the world is used. So how to do that? Manage collisions. So I get the body, I get the transform, so this is fine, but now I should compute the world modification. I'm thinking, maybe instead of having a link to my ECS manager, maybe what I should do here is at the end of a frame, send modifications, but also maybe, how could I do this? I will put this here. But also what I could do is send a copy of the world here, so that I don't have to have a link and getting all references to the state. Just send the world state. So maybe I should create a world state struct that will actually hold what I have written in world here, which is this. Yeah. So it will just copy every data. It's not good in terms of memory, but it would be better in terms of processing. Maybe I will copy this as a world state struct. Well, let's create it. Struct. World state. I'm thinking actually my world class is a world state, but will there be something else? I'm not sure. Well, for now I let it like this. maybe I can just send the world. We'll see that later. Okay, so let's getting back to our collision. What we want to do here is change the velocity of something and change the transform of something. So I need to create, and this is the body. And what is transform? Transform is, okay, this is a rigid body and this is the transform. Okay, so I need to create a new struct for this world modification, world change, sorry. That will hold. This is still from the same entity, so I will call it collision. Player collision, maybe? Or, well, for now, let's call it collision. It's simple, and it will hold the change we need, so it will hold the entity ID. Entity ID. Oh, still have to include this. No. Oh, okay, same. I need to reload this. Is it working? It is not. Maybe I need to clean, then redo this. And reload, CMake, jet. Oh, no, I should have done that. I did it. What's happening now? Let's make minimum. Okay. Why is it not working now? Oh, maybe it's not built. What's happening? Okay, I think I have everything. Okay, it's downloading and compiling everything now. And we're good. Okay, fine. So let's get back to my world change. Oh, is it? Okay, I understand. Because this is not included anywhere, so I need to include it here, or maybe in my ECS manager because it will use it. Include world change. Yeah, maybe because it's not included in any CPP file, so reload, do not use it. Yes. Okay, so when there is a collision, I will take an ID and change its velocity. So I put the new velocity, and I put, well, it's better to compute the new position. So, well, new position and new velocity. Vector 2, new position, and vector 2, new velocity. So when this happens, I want to compute that. So it's quite easy. It's a world change. It's sorry, it's not a word change. How did I call it? Collision. Actually, is there something called collision 2D? Oh, it's a component. Okay. Yeah, so collision. It's not the best name. What change is that? Collision. And let's put in it the entity ID. Oh, well, actually, what I do here is that, so maybe I should, if check collisions and place back. Maybe I should put directly my position here. What is collision 2D then? Actually, I could directly use this. But this is not a world modification. Yeah, let's stick to the plan. Maybe we would be able to optimize this. And I just change, I call it collision change. Like this time it's clear. And in my world, I need to store my collision change. Okay, collision changes. Okay, I can remove this. So now I call it, so this is collision change, collision, and what I need to do is entity ID what's the problem here? Oh, yeah, because it's not the same. So I build this collision change entity ID, then I build the vector 2 that is the new position with, no, it's transform position.x plus this. Also, it's not the best math, but we'll improve that later. Y plus this. And the new velocity, which will be this. What's the problem here? Well, entity is this. No, entity is not this. So actually I just need the entity ID. 32. call it entity ID so we know what it is. Okay. So I create this and I should feed this to the world. So how do I do that? Yeah, this is a place where I need a link to the world in order to feed my position, my collision change. Well, so I could include in my ECS manager a link. Okay, so for now I don't want to think about which kind of link, so I put a row pointer and then I'll think to something better. So let's put a world row pointer here. And actually, can we secure this? Yes, we should secure this. So we'll put a reference and we'll import world from world. Yeah. We'll put a reference and when we create the ECS manager, we will feed this reference because it has to be fed. So when do I create my ECS manager? When I create my scene, I create my scene game, I create my ECS manager. Yeah, and I need this to be initialized, which is logical. So make unique ECS manager, and I need to feed this with a world, but it's at loading. Maybe it should be a creation. Let's check in game. And same game, it's at loading. So add scene, make unique game scene. So here I should provide the world, and the game class should store the world. I suppose this, yeah, I suppose my world should be a shared pointer. This would make more sense so that I can pass the shared pointer to other stuff. So we'll do that for now. Using std shared pointer. Oh, not a vector, it's actually a shared pointer of world. So here I have my shared pointer. Maybe each scene should have a link to the world. So it's world. It's a shared pointer, sorry. World. Not sure it's the best way to place it here. Each scene have a link to the world? Maybe not all scenes need this. So maybe I should not put it there. Yeah, I should not put it there. So let's just put it for now in my scene game. So, yeah, I have my unique pointer OCS, but maybe this is not the right place too. So shared pointer world. Ref. Let's use std shared pointer. will be clearer. And then I need a constructor in my scene game. So I prefer my constructor to be at the top. So, well, it's quite easy now. It's just passing the wall ref to wall ref. Okay. What's the problem here now? Well, because this now also needs the wall reference because I have putting it here. Actually, I'm thinking maybe I should only pass this to the ECS manager. Well, we'll see. Maybe I won't need to store it in my scene game. So in my ECS manager, same drill. So here I have a reference, so let's put rather a shared pointer. Okay, so I need to include what it is. Yeah, long time I've not been coding. Memory. Okay. And so include memory using shared pointer. So now I have my shared pointer to the world ref. I can pass it in my scene game here. Is it this way? We use make unit. Oh yeah, but I need to create a constructor too. ECS manager, shared pointer to world. Okay, we're good. Is there a problem? Oh yeah. Pass by value, but this is what I was doing. Should I move a STD pointer? A shared pointer? I'm not sure I should. I need to check this. A smart pointer, a shared pointer is either empty or owns a pointer passed to the constructor. Copies of shared pointer share ownership. When the last shared pointer that owns the pointer is destroyed, the own pointer is freed. Yeah, but that's fine. Oh, I read about that. Should I move a shared pointer? My guess was if you copy it, it increases the counter in it. Well, we'll see. Fine. So what should I add now? Okay, so now I need to add a function in my world in order to add a collision change. So it will be public. add collision change, and let's pass it by copy. Because it's not so much data. Okay. Oh, it's void, sorry. And this will just push my copy. Collision change dot push. No, it's not collision change. Oh, did I call it collision changes? Dot push back. Collision change. Okay, fine. And now I want my world to apply all those modifications every time. So my world should update at the start of a frame. So I will call this explicitly. And actually, yeah, this is why I need a world state. I need a world state because I want to store copies of my world, except if this returns the world. It could return the world. I could do something like that. World. Update at start. So at frame starts. Is it possible? And I just wanted to return a copy of itself. So I will need a constructor to and pass everything in it. My thinking is about how should I modify everything. Yeah, do I want to modify this? Yes, I suppose. I want to apply stuff. So in my update at frame start, I should, for each collision change, collision changes, I should do what was done before in my ECS manager. I mean, get the right, get the right component. So where is it? It is in ECS manager. So I need a way to find this, or should I re-implement it? What I have is a copy. Well, I need to change this. So maybe I should re-implement it. I don't know. How it's done. And I'm not sure about how to... Maybe my ECS manager should be in the world actually, because I only need one, and other stuff should be elsewhere. I mean, the system should be in the scene game. It's not that easy to conceive. I need to think a little about that. Actually, I think I'm a little over-engineering it. I want to separate my ECS manager for now, but actually everything is happening in my ECS manager, and actually my ECS manager is my world for now, so maybe I should keep it like that and re-put everything in my here. Send world state. Maybe this should be sent here, but yeah, so this will send notification, we can say that. Okay. So maybe something like that would be more suitable for now. And we will store the world state here. Okay. So here we want one world state, or let's say a current world state. Okay. I just want this actually. Here we would have several world states. But here only one, the current one. Okay, so, well, let's get back to this, it will be easier, and we will store this here, and actually we'll store the ECS manager in the game and rather inject the ECS manager in each scene. It will be better, I think. Up. And so I don't need this anymore. Yes, I need to do, what do I need? I'm not sure I need the link then. Well, we'll see that. Maybe it will be easier like this. And this is actually the world. So I should change again what I've done in game. So in game I had a shared pointer to world, and actually I want a shared pointer to the ECS manager. Okay. I'll call it ECS. So at the beginning of a game I want to create one. Yes, and yeah, my ECS manager should not have word anymore then. So I don't need this anymore. Where it? Yeah. So I don't need this. Or change maybe. And so in my game, make shared ECS manager. What's the problem here? Yeah, and so now in the scene I want to inject my ECS. And now I need to check that in scene game I can inject my ECS. No, so it's not a world, it's an ECS manager. Okay. Manager ECS ref, and I need to change this. And I don't need this anymore. I should call it ECS. Sorry. Okay, so I don't have to update all my code. So that's fine. And yeah, I think it will be easier, way easier this way. So I create the ECS manager here and I add it in each scene. And so this is when I create a scene, when I want to add a scene. Well, but the scene should be already created, so I don't have to do anything with that. Okay, fine. So now it should be, well, I can just remove this world class actually. Yeah, I don't need it anymore, so let's remove it. So world, delete. Okay, refactor. And yes, where was an include of it? Okay, should be fine. I don't need this anymore then. Okay, so now let's go back to here. So I want to create my collision chain. Actually, I already have created the collision. So maybe I could just do my computation elsewhere. If check collision, I already have box and other box. So yeah, what I am getting here. I already have the transform too. So maybe I should just create this and push it somewhere. So my ECS manager should store the collision changes. I think I will need to split later my ECS manager because there's too much stuff in it. But for now, let's be simple. Collision change. Trying to include it. And maybe I didn't need what I had before, my collision 2D stuff. Collision 2D is not that bad to have because it gives me, but it's not a change, it's the collision itself. So I prefer to compute a collision change. Even if it adds data, the concept is not the same. So here, well, I get all the collision and then I create my collision changes. So do I really need this? but it creates the collision at least. Well, it's different. Maybe I don't need it for now. What I could do here is, well, I just want the body and the transform of a specific, yeah, it's the body I'm here in. No, this is for other. Where am I? Okay, so yeah, I have two for loops, and I check apply velocity and collision text for each one. So maybe this could be created there. Collision entity ID is just the body. For which we have a collision, so it's this iterator. Yeah, entity ID. Yeah, so I can have this. So I should do what I did here, there. And what is it? Oh, it's transform and not transform. Okay, so I already have a reference to the transform here. Oh, actually, yeah, I apply the velocity, so this should be a change too. Let's write it. To do. This is a world change. Okay, so it should be put elsewhere. And also I change the position, so it should be also put elsewhere. So about the collision, and here I want my body. This is a rigid body of my own. It's collision ID. Yeah. For it is the rigid body of this entity. Do I have it somewhere else? Here I am for, yeah, so this is what is under my iterator here. So here it's iterator velocity. And same here. Okay. And so, and here I just should inverse the velocity. So same, I just take this data and inverse it. Okay, so here I create my collision change, and so I think I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. I remove this later, and I collision changes dot pushback. I could use in place back directly. And if I put this, it should work. Does it? It is not, because the constructor is not explicit. Well, so we'll just use this. I can move it. Because we won't use it anymore. No? Okay, it has no effect. it's trivially copyable. Fine. Okay, so I put my unplace back collision change here, and now I want to apply my collision at the beginning of the frame. So update world. I will create a function called update world, and maybe I should change this to world state. Is it updates in game? So let's create an. For now, it will be world, but later it will have a better. It will return the state of the world. So update world. In update world, I would. Well, let's create also my. What is this? Position change. So it's a position change. So it's just a vector 2. But yeah, I need this too. So okay, so let's create my position changes. Was it vector collision change? Okay, and so in the ECS manager here, I could have functions. I could have sent functions, but well, for now, let's create objects, and we'll see later. Maybe it would be better with function, with lambdas, for instance. So yeah, position changes dot change. I want the entity ID. So it is this. So this should be removed. Actually, no. Computing the new X is fine. This should be removed. And here I should not use this because I won't change it. So it could be a copy. I don't think I changed it anywhere. No, I don't. Position change, and I will send this. Okay. And now let's just try to apply those two changes. First, the position change, and then the collision change. So to do that, I have created my function, update world, for all position change in position changes. I need to get the transform, get the entity, get the transform to modify it. Actually, I should create a new world state. We'll do that later. For now, I would modify the world, but later we need to create a new world rather than modifying it. My goal is actually to be in a kind of functional thinking. When you work in functional, you don't modify your data, you create new data from the previous data. And this is what I would like to do ultimately, but I won't have time with this video, it's already too long. But well, so here I want my transform. So for now, let's modify and then I'll update. Auto transform, call get component transform from my position change dot entity ID and transform dot pose will be equal to position change new position. Fine. What's the problem here? Again, transform. Okay. So this is for position change. I prefer commands to read collisions. So we'll do the same. Collision changes. I still get the transform. I also need the body. I do that, but with body. And body dot velocity equal collision change dot new velocity. Okay, and I want to update this, to call this at the beginning of my update function. And this should not be called. Yeah, actually, this should be called. Update world. Yeah, this should still be called because it will component, it will do the rest of it. But this, so yeah, there's no more modification in my system physics update. Just compute new changes, and then at the beginning of next frame, we'll change everything. Is this building? Oh no. Or change here. Oh yeah. I need a semicolon there. World. Oh, okay. So I need to clean everything. And rebuild. Oh no, I actually need to reload my CMake file. Okay, now it's fine. Is it working? Oh, what's the problem here? Oh, I'm not sure it's working. It's not that working. What could happen? Maybe the fact that I don't do that for everything is a problem. I'm not sure. Oh, I know. After I update my world, I should empty my lists because it will do the same change every time then. Position changes dot clear, collision changes dot clear. That's better. Where's why is I put every time? Or should I do that at the end of the frame? Be better after the system. Yeah, the point is this is not working anymore. This get the transform. Okay. Yeah, the problem is I'm sick. I'm in the middle of the river. So position change and place back. Yeah, I create my rectangle. Yeah, I create the other. Then I check collision, and if there is a collision, I do something. Should be fine. But this. Here I change when there is a modification. Oh, I should create a bounce. Or let's create a bounce change, maybe. My problem is when I do that, I do not apply my position change. So if the speed is applying, the bounce will only apply a frame later. Is it a problem? I don't think so. So where is the equal sign? Only there. So I will create a bounce change and check if I can go to the end of this. So what do I have? I have a new, well, I have my new velocity and my new x position, new y position. And the ID, it's a float, I think. That's a float. So new y and F32 new velocity y. Sorry, bounce change. So I need the entity ID. And then the new position. And then the new velocity. Okay. And so I need also a vector of bounce change. Yeah, I just need to apply this in the same order. So this should pass as comment. Bounce changes and place back. I have created the bounce changes, yes. Bounce change. What's the problem here? Oh yeah, again. Okay, so yeah, it's the same. Here it is the same, I just need this as a new Y. And in my update world, I try to do this at the end. So bounce changes the clear. I think it will be quite similar to this, because I need to update the velocity. Change from bounce changes. Dot y equal bounce change. That's y and body dot velocity change dot new velocity y. Okay. This should be fine. I can, yeah, so there's no other modification here. Just yeah, I update the sprite, update entity with components. Yeah, so let's try this. Well, it's worse. It's way worse. I don't understand why, but let's check. So I need to debug. So position changes. Yeah, I have a lot of position changes, which is logical, because each entity has a new position. But I don't understand why it is 0. Maybe my computation is not good. Yeah, this is 0, so the problem might be there. So when I compute my position change, what is happening? Oh, I have not given the new x and y. I just gave the entity. This is the problem. The position, new x, new y. Oh yeah, it's fine. Nearly fine. It's a little locking when there is a collision, actually. Okay, so why? So here I transform this. Send bounds update. So here do I need something that is, I suppose I don't need any reference now. So now I have to understand what is happening there. When I do my computation for the bounds, well, if I put time 3 or time 5 even, to put them away, it's far worse. Okay. Also, update world. This could be in update world too. Update component with transform. What I'm doing here, I take all sprites and I get the transform. Okay, and yeah, I just change the sprite position. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, this should happen. You can put this in update world, actually. Yeah, so we still have the same problem. So I need to find a way to fix this problem. Actually, my problem with collision is quite easy to solve. It's a problem I actually had for a long time and I didn't see it. Here, when there is a collision, well, I inverse the velocity, but I tell the object to keep going in the same direction for one frame. I should actually inverse the speed also in order to separate the two elements, the two colliding elements. So if I do that, we should have, yeah, as you see, a way better behavior. So there is still some problem if, here I don't have them, but if they start, yeah, here, at the same position, here I will have a problem and I should detect this kind of case, like if there is a collision for 2 frames, maybe I should separate them further. But for now, it will be good. Okay, fine. I think what I've done here is quite good. I'm decoupling the application of stuff from the detection of stuff. And I think it could be good. In the next video, well, I suppose, in the next video, I'll be trying to copy my word instead of modifying it, okay? So see you in the next video. Bye!